Hello there, my name is Cedric, or Stupid You. I am the creator of FreeGameFindings. Today I am yet again doing an unboxing and review, and I guess now build, video for the FGF YouTube channel. Back in April of this year, FGF first collaborated with mechanicalkeyboards.com. Well, they're back with another FGF giveaway. MK can be the perfect place for those looking for the best in their mechanical keyboard needs. The MK shop sells a variety of products like fully assembled keyboards, bare bones keyboard kits, keycaps, key switches, mice, every piece of a mechanical keyboard really, and weirdly enough, some random things like trading cards and plenty more. The first go around, MK, alongside a great big giveaway on the sub, sent over the .65 for me to build with a selection of their items, which had me create a wonderful little board. In this video here, I will be trying out something a little bit more unorthodox. I was sent this Keychron Q10 Alice bare bones kit and the stuff to, finish it, which sports one of those ergonomic layouts. Paired with it will be some Gateron CJ light blue linear key switches and MK's very own in-house VMK White on black double shot PBT cherry keycap set. This will take a little bit of time getting used to for sure, but I'm excited to explore the board. And you can too, as all of these items are available for purchase on mechanicalkeyboards.com. Stay tuned until the end to learn about how you could win yourself some keyboards, key switches, a mouse, or a mouse pad from MK in this slightly smaller promotion that goes alongside this video. Big thanks of course go out to MK for supplying all the items for the event. Without further ado, let's unbox my Keychron Q10, Gateron switches, and VMK keycaps. Packaged in this taped up box, we see all of my items. Cracking it open, we start off with the Gateron CJ light blue linear key switches. There's 100 of them bagged in here. Next up, after quickly noting the little sticker, we have our keycaps. The VMK white on black cherry keycap set. The inverse actually of the set that I was sent for the .65 build last time. One little tease for later though is going to be that this board is a bit abnormal. We'll actually come to find that I don't really have certain keys that would be ideal for it, namely the two smaller spacebars. We'll work around it in the video, but it'll look a little goofy. Anyway, continuing on, we see the star of the show, the Keychron Q10 Alice bare bones keyboard kit. At this point, I actually don't even know what color it was going to be, but know that it comes in black, gray, and this nice little dark blue. It was shockingly hard to get this box open here, but eventually I succeed. Getting into this thing, we start off with the quick start and info guide. Next are some replacement screws, feet, and I think some dampening spacers for the inside of the board. Next up, this lovely threaded USB-C cable that even includes an adapter. The color of the cable probably should have been a hint, by the way. I didn't confirm the length of the cable, but it seems alright. A brief little detour to note that I actually missed a keycap puller, key switch puller, Allen key, and a screwdriver at the bottom of the box. These will come in quite handy. Now for the big boy, the Q10 board itself. This fella is big and heavy. Machined aluminum, huh? Just kind of feeling it up a little and messing with the knob a tad, which is a horrible voice line, huh? After checking out the front a bit, here's a shot of the top for the switch to Mac or to Windows, and the USB-C port. This is a wired only board, by the way. Finally, here's a quick look at the back of the board as well. Really clean thing, sporting a gray color scheme. To wrap up the unboxing portion of the video here, let's recap the goods. We've got our pretty 5-pin Gateron CJ light blue switches, the VMK white on black keycap set, a sticker that I apparently didn't bother to show off, I think, and finally the Keychron Q10 Alice keyboard. This lovely and wacky looking big boy. Excited to crack on into it? Let's try putting all the pieces together. I'll be speeding through this section a bit as per usual, but a quick mention that you should be careful and thoroughly inspect your switches before installation. I had a couple that went in a bit wrong and bent a few pins. I could bend those back and I have a few tools to even help do so, but still, watch out. If you're in some way following around with me here, I would highly suggest before doing anything more that you take the board apart and inspect it to confirm that everything is plugged in and screwed down. We'll talk about that more in the review portion, but I had to do a lot of work. Well, not that much, but I had to do some work that would have been much easier pre-switch installation. It wasn't awful post though. Something nice to note about this build is that the stabilizers for the larger keys are actually pre-lubed. Anyway, after getting all the switches installed, we can start installing the keycaps. Okay, this bit will be something. So the keycap set I was given here is a pretty standard one, but we already know this is a non-standard board. I get a little confused by a few things during the build near the end, and also come to find that I simply don't have some of the things that I probably would quote unquote need to, I guess quote unquote, complete the build. What a quote. First off, I get really confused by there being 2 Bs in active use for this layout. Apparently that is common. Strangely and thankfully, the extra was already supplied, so yeah, I guess this was expected for some things. Now for the next hurdle. Sadly, this one did not have a real solution. The VMK White on Black set doesn't have these smaller spacebars. I'll need to go find some sort of replacement for the 2.25U and 2.75U spacebar in like a white or black or something to match. That said, there will be some other things that I might want to tinker with for this board as well. For the sake of the build and just for trying it out, I guess, I'm going to install a few things that are size appropriate into these slots. Another slight issue with this keycap set comes up when I get to use the home key. The only one included in this set, I think at least, isn't really set for this orientation. It is, I believe at least, an R4 sized key, which doesn't fit right in the spot here designed for, I'm thinking, an R2. I end up replacing it with the PN key off screen, which I had never heard of before. I'll have to figure out what to use this programmable key for at some point. The next thing that wasn't really considered for this build was the fact that there are 5 macro key slots. There are some options that I could try to work with in the keycap set, but I'm unsure that they would be ideal or fit each size required. So I just went into a different direction entirely. I already happen to own these basic clear black keys that I've used for a couple of my, well, actually all of my builds now, I think. It's great for little macro keys and stuff like that. They are XDA styled, I think at least, so it is kind of messing up the whole cherry profile thing. For this case, I think it actually works pretty well. After finally throwing in some random shift keys as pretend spacebars, we have the completed build. Let's take a quick moment here to showcase the board and see what it sounds like in its completed state. Note that I'll be recording it off of a Pixel 6 phone. Thanks again to my buddy Brent for his old phone. Probably need to get a better setup for this kind of thing eventually. That and a better desk cam kind of mount thing for camera purposes. Anyway, enjoy. Alrighty, so it has been a couple days since getting the board and it is time to start reviewing it. There are a couple caveats to go through. For starters, I had some pretty big issues with the board right out the gate. This bare bones kit hadn't been fully or correctly assembled before I acquired it. I think this is an issue with how it was provided to/through MK by Keychron. The daughter board connecting the keyboard PCB to the power and data USB-C port was not properly seated, so nothing worked at all. I assume this is down to getting shifted around in shipping, but I don't know. There wasn't much I could find to put me toward this as the issue either, but I might have just been going at it the wrong way. Either way, after losing a day thinking that it was something wrong with the drivers or something, I ended up getting this fixed with the guidance of my contact at MK. Now with the board powering on and working, for the most part, I discovered that it wasn't having any functionality with a selection of keys. The arrow keys, the page down key, and the home key, which I had the PN keycap on. This was extremely strange and made me think that there was something wrong with the PCB. I ended up opening the board again and came to find that beneath a sticky paper pad, a screw was just kind of loosely sat there. The entire board wasn't being properly held down because of this missing screw on the bottom right of the PCB, which would explain why the bottom right keys were all failing to be hit. After fiddling with that for a while and finally getting it down, the board is up and running all well and good. This section of the review goes to show that there might be some QC issues going on at Keychron right now, which could result in users thinking their brand new and pretty expensive keyboard is a complete dud, dead on arrival. I thankfully was comfortable opening that board up, and this was a bare bones kit, so the idea of me diving deeper was, likely expected anyway. That said, a user buying a fully assembled version of this could, and seemingly already has, experienced the exact same kind of issue and not been comfortable with disassembling. This user shared a similar story to mine on the Mechanical Keyboards subreddit, which is unaffiliated with the MK store that we've been talking about, by the way, I think at least, but they were less less interested in jumping through the hoops, which, can't blame them for. They were upset with Keychron since they left them kinda high and dry with the bill to send it back for a refund, only offering to comp a little bit or something like that. Either way you look at it, the situation here is that a user has a similar sounding problem to mine and wasn't, in their mind, being covered adequately by support. Yes, it's possible that the issue is something pretty small, like what I was able to fix, but it doesn't really give a green light in this scenario where a person felt wronged. Just something I wanted to mention in terms of Keychron's quality control, support, and shipping. Now let's talk about actually using the board. For the past few days, I've been using it for a variety of things. Some programming, video gaming, casual web browsing, and writing this script. The board has seen it all. So how does it feel? Well, it'll take some time getting used to, that is for sure. Parts of this can come pretty naturally, but unlearning like 15 years of the standard keyboard layout is pretty tough. I can't be positive I'm really getting the most out of the thing as of right now, but I am aware of the benefits to it. There have been so many mistakes in my typing so far, more so than usual. Again though, this can be worked on. I can feel the more fluid positioning of my hands, but my experience typing to this point is simply getting in the way. Give me a couple more weeks though, and I think I'll get the hang of it. There is a complication though. I do a fair bit of the video games on my keyboard and mouse. This one is a weird experience for sure. I've spent a few nights streaming and talking about how I'm just mangling some inputs here and there. When you're playing a game that has your left hand on keys and your right hand on a mouse, you quickly find that you might want to re-angle the board a bit. I was rocking a somewhat diagonal orientation so as to position my arm, hand, and body properly to smack whatever I needed to smack on the keyboard, exclusively the left side of it. It could be that I'm simply not used to positioning my arms and hands the way that this board might want me to, but it is difficult for sure when playing games, at least to me. If you position the board directly in front of you, as you should when doing typical typing, then your body will be more properly aligned, I think. It does feel pretty alright when I'm actually doing typical things like writing the script, for instance. Overall, this is a great board with an interesting layout. If you're already a fan of the Alice style, then you're looking at a pretty solid one right here. If this is your first foray, then that's cool too. Still pretty annoyed by how it showed up though. A board with VIA and QMK compatibility, plenty of solid macro-specific keys, hot swappable functionality, and a good physical feel in its CNC machined aluminum case. I swear, things like VIA and QMK, they're fantastic and they are just a necessity. I gotta get better at making some macros in it though. I'm probably not going to be using the Windows to Mac switch, nor the extra layers for total that the board has, but I do appreciate those options. Big fan of the whole thing on paper. I'll likely not use the fun little dial too much either. I adjust audio on a mixer myself, so that'd be a little bit odd. Now it's all down to figuring out if this layout is for me or not. One concern that I do have for this though is the price. This thing is expensive. On mechanicalkeyboards.com, the bare bones kit comes out to a sale price of 263 Canadian dollars, or 206 for the blue one that is currently on clearance. That is a lot to drop, but with the feature set and quality of the item, post potentially needing to screw things in and plug things in for them, it might be up your alley. You need to get your own switches and caps though, but that is the life of a mechanical keyboard enthusiast, I guess. There might be some better budget options to look at for something like this though if you wanted. Hell, Keychron themselves actually made a newer, cheaper version of the same board, which you can get fully assembled. It is plastic though. It has a few other changes, but one of them is that it actually includes wireless functionality. 179 Canadian on MK when not on sale. Kind of up to what you're looking for. As for the switches and keycaps, they're pretty solid. Hard to go wrong with Gateron from what I understand. These ones had a lovely color and a great feel. If you're into the linear thing, then this is a solid choice. The keycaps are great overall as well, but do have some slight issues with the print on a few things here and there, much like the last time I looked at a VMK set. I noticed it mostly on the small print of letters and the word shift and stuff like that. The dot on some eyes is a bit shy. They feel great though and look good in most cases. I do need to figure out those replacement keys for the macros and the space bars. I've cursed myself with obscurity. With all of that said and done, be sure to check out the giveaway currently live on FreeGameFindings for your chance at some cool stuff from MK. The Leopold Cross MK FC66 MBT Vapor 65% board, the MK Duo 60% keyboard, the Miko Push 65% bare bones keyboard kit, 500 Greetech brown tactile switches, 200 TTC golden red linear switches, the Ducky feather mouse, and the MK Rave 2XL mousepad. 7 total winners in a great second promotional event from MK on on FGF. Thank you for watching. Huge thanks go out to mechanicalkeyboards.com for sending me the Q10, the switches, and the keycaps for this video, and of course for supplying the giveaway on FGF as well. I hope this build, unboxing, and review was enjoyable and informative. I love messing around with these keyboards, and I'm happy to be able to work with MK yet again. Be sure to consider mechanicalkeyboards.com for your next keyboard, keycaps, key switches, or whatever else they might have. I've been Cedric. Feel free to check me out on my personal projects and to keep an eye on FGF as well. Thank you for watching and enjoy.